That was interesting. We had a couple officers that were pretty cool. We had like a little daily newsletter, and there were some pretty good artists. They do all kinds of stuff, but like I say, I don't know what you guys had. We had 15 words.
Oh, the family grant.
Family grant. 15 words, three times, twice more.
We showed one where, the message began, congratulations, your wife gave birth to whatever baby boy. And then at the end it said, mother and daughter are fine.
Yeah,
So he got in for his stupid. Wife had a boy or a girl, we got that.
we had one with a sonar tank. His wife had a baby, and baby was born with just one eye. And so he was blind, but like I say, we had to watch him because when he got that message,
You're not supposed to get negative.
They thought I had a negative. Somebody sent me a message, and strangely, it was innocuous. It was the kids. They were out in the woods, and the car got stuck in the mud or something, right? And someone thought that would be disturbing news. And they called me in, and they said, "Oh, here's your family." I said, "Oh, okay." Somebody the car got stuck. They thought that would be disturbing.
Well, it was a captain's option. Our captain fixed the morale for our group. He said, if they run home, I don't set your family ranks. You'll get to know it, you'll know it right away. Really? Yeah, but someone said for the sake of the ship, you can live down the night. So he said, take these 400. So I had to read all these things. He said, no, they're the same, except that one guy was not there. And the captain was,
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas. It was.
And everybody got a ticket.
Holly. So that's obscene.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But like I say, I just made a change for them. You get your roads?
If I had the patience, I could wait for her to come to that.
Well, what happened was people started stumbling outside.
Okay.
Only to find out the way was still inside.
Okay.
They changed the color.
That's okay. With all
Oh, I double did it.
Yeah, but no, but the thing is, you got people outside for the ball stuff, everything else, and they're willing to spend. So why not?
Exactly.
So right now, I think we're over 100 hours coming back to the base.
Already.
Yeah, they were giving last call down there.
So who's got the Saber with the submarine plates?
What?
Who's got the BMW with submarine plates?
Oh, I have a BMW.
That's a nice car.
No, I think he has an SUV.
The first one I had was a Navigator, and they were giving me a hard time about it, that's my company car, So.
I worked with a guy, he got a BMW SUV, and he was so mad, he said, if I knew it was gonna look like all the other ones.
There's great cars.
You know, I coordinate the plates.
So, but then
In
you-
Jersey,
BMW?
and
What's that?
Are you with the BMW?
I used to be, I guess a bunch of people, for the first 70,000 miles, I've done,
Hey, somebody left the beer out here, did you?
BMW was
No, good luck.
76, 2002.
Who's got a beer?
I'm sorry I sold it.
that's an
Lovely Glen.
The only bad part about it,
But
I
you got
sold
beer?
it to Bobby. It wasn't fielded good.
that was, because they made
It's not outside. That's what it was.
What do we need to
Is
pass?
this everybody?
I left one
One of
there.
my friends.
Nobody does.
I
One of my friends.
That's all.
Drove it every day.
Yeah.
I bought
I left
$108,000.
doesn't work, I got it.
So I paid $5,000 for it.
That was cool.
Don't get it, don't get it.
You swap left and
But they make 70% of production now.
Oh, you know what, Wayne, I take back what I said.
It's insured. Probably it's the time energy.
You can certainly take back what I said.
They said do that
I
before.
don't know.
Don't put it back in my head.
Bill, did you sign it?
You're not allowed to pay.
No, you're not even in.
Close to my voice recorded.
That one, right?
Because I'm liable to say some.
What color?
Paul.
Oh, yeah, Paul Matlack, yeah, Paul Matlack, he's,
Who's got the money?
no, I don't have the money.
I have something.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I even put it in my left pocket, my own money's in my right pocket.
Paul was the,
Or the trying to rip it off.
$20. Memorial Day. Okay, yeah, nice back here, see you. Here,
Like I told you, if I'm gonna
Yeah. Somehow there's an extra. 108. Yeah.
What did it net for the club?
108.
113.
Oh, 113, he just got 108.
How much is there?
108.
Who won?
Doesn't matter. Let's call him Paul now. Paul Matlack.
It's been so long since I've actually logged that.
Well,
We haven't had 50/50 forever.
Well, like I said, you know,
Say,
if you do
next
100,
money,
if you do $100 a month,
Next week.
You're right.
When Diane.
$1,200 a year,
$1,200 a
you
year.
pay for half the scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Remember, you can pay for food.
I watched her say it, you know.
Yeah, they had to do some meetings or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yep.
Chief of the boat.
Chief of the boat.
So Berners Square, everybody uncovered? I'm not in charge anymore. Sorry. I just told him to uncover. You had.
You should.
Almighty, everlasting God, protector of all who put their trust in thee, hear our prayers on behalf of thy servants who sail their vessels beneath the seas. We beseech thee to keep in thy sustaining care all who are submarines, that they may be delivered from the hidden dangers of the deep. Grant them the courage and devotion to fulfill their duties, that they may better serve thee and the native land. Though acquainted with the depths of the ocean, deliver them from the depths of despair, in dark hours of absence of friendliness and good spirit. Bless all their kindred and loved ones from whom they are separated. When they surface with ships, may they praise thee, for thou art there as well as in the deep. Fill them with thy spirit, that they should be sure of their reckonings, unwavering in duty, high in purpose, while upholding the honor of their nation. Amen.
Calling on the boats?
USS Herring, USS R-12, USS Galette, USS Bonefish, USS S-27, USS 09, USS Runner. There's a port of no return where ships may ride at anchor for a little space, and then some starless night the cable slips, leaving Eddie at the mooring place. Gulls fear no longer, sailor rest your oar. No tangled wreckage will be washed ashore.
Thank you.
This is decree of the United States Veterans Incorporated. To perpetuate the memory of our shipmates who gave their lives in the pursuit of their duties while serving their country, that their dedication, deeds, and supreme sacrifice be a constant source of motivation toward greater accomplishments. Pledge loyalty and patriotism to the United States Constitution.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Introduction of members.
What's that?
Jim Madden, I qualified on the USS George Bancroft, SSBN 643 Blue, in March of 1989.
Bob Gross, I qualified on the USS Tecumseh, SSPN 628 Blue, South Pacific 66.
Ed Carlson, I qualified on the USS Angler, SS 240, on May 24, 1967.
June Gary, I qualified on the USS Iris, SS 42, in August of 1964, Groton, London.
Wayne McAllis qualified on the USS Angler, SS-240, Groton, Connecticut, 1967.
Chuck Cox qualified on the USS Ethan Allen, SSBN 08 blue in June of 72.
Go ahead. USS John Marshall, SSB on 611 gold, qualified in Brockton, Connecticut, November 22nd, 1972.
Glenn McCallis, U.S. Army, Chemical Corps, 1968 to 1970.
Philip Williams qualified USS Space SSN 668, April 81 under the ice.
Chris Vincent, USS Manhattan, 1970, San Diego.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All the rest of them.
Jim, can I have the secretary's report?
So we're gonna do World War II vets.
Shoot put that
Do we use
on.
the honor the room?
Moment of silence for.
Oh, yeah.
Is that who you?
I don't know if it's working.
A moment of silence in memory of our World War II vets. As Bob always likes to say, announce to you, we would not be here today if it wasn't for those who served and sacrificed all for us.
Just passed over the Calhoun's 101st birthday.
The 18th would have been, the 18th would have been his 101st.
Regular meeting minutes, New Jersey Bay South, USSBI, Friday, May 23rd, 2025, Yardville, New Jersey, 1930 average VFW. Officers present, Bob Gross, William Michels, Jim Madden, James Garrett. Call to order, prayer, flag salute, call to vote, introduction of members present and guests, honor World War II vets. Medical list, John C. Antonio. Minutes of April meeting read by secretary and approved by members present. Treasurer's report given by James Garrett. 2 CEs, one $16,650.21. The second one, $4,013.70. A checking account of $3,346.75. A scholarship CD of $3,020.95. An additional scholarship fund of $2,484.65. A total treasury of $29,516.26. Report accepted as read by members present. Committee reports, membership, C. Vincent, approximately 106 members. Ways and Means, Dave Lucas, no report. C. Ed Carlson for the latest hats and sweatshirts. Scholarship, Guy Doherty. One was awarded. It's Ashley Manning, granddaughter of member Isaac Cohen. License plate, Dave Carlson. We have 5 left, 2 requested, and 1 is pending. New Jersey Eagle Scout Program, Steve Vincent, no report. Old business, use membership business cards to promote our organization. We need a volunteer for newsletter. Wawa discontinued fundraiser program. The coupons will expire December 31st, 2025. The existing, any outstanding coupons. New business, Ed Carlson, elected commander. Bob Gross, vice commander. Jay Gary, treasurer. And Jay Madden, secretary. Wayne Michels will resume as Cobb. Bob Gross will also assume chaplain. C stories, NA, for the good of the order, NA. Meeting closed with prayer by commander. Chief of the boat, Ed Carlson, sound and service.
Are there any additions, corrections to the minutes?
Motion to accept.
I'll
I'll make a motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
As of today, we have total cash of $29,168. The scholarship, we have a scholarship CD, $3,032, since September the 1st of this year, and the interest rate is 4.21%. We have have our regular CD in the amount of $16,766. It's due September 25th of this year, we increased 4.51%. In the checking account, we have $2,857. And in the scholarship savings account, we have $2,485. Our year-to-date total gross receipts are $1,963. Our total expenses are $595, and it's a net income of $1,368.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the report?
Make a motion to accept. Yeah, motion to accept.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Captain,
The only one, John Theotonio still, I talked to Bob Klug, and he's doing better. Danny was not at the, we had a golf tournament, a short base golf tournament down in Kansas a couple weeks ago. Danny was always there, and he's got somebody looking over after him right now, and not giving him a whole bunch of too much information about him. That was kind of keeping it back to the person. And so he's doing better. Bob Luke's doing better. Charlie he didn't golf because he just can't handle it. He can't handle the weather changes and everything else. Every once in a while, all of a sudden the leg is swollen. His calf was up about that size. So he's got to be real careful with the liquids and everything else. And his wife is missing. But other than that, everything pretty much the same. Keep in mind always that Dave Lucas, I saw him and he's doing better. He said, I'm going to be up and see one of your meetings. Not my meeting, but our meeting.
And they said he was in there a couple days ago.
He said he's doing better. He's doing better.
yeah, I saw about a couple weeks ago at the memorial service of Cleo Budinsky, and he actually looked pretty good. And a former Anglo sailor 5 years before us. And he's a good friend of mine from the other base and from the coach who got the union. So greatly miss him. My wife keeps in touch with Sandy, his wife, so I'm sure she'll help get him through this tough time. Committee reports. Membership in the Eagle Scout program, I guess.
106 memberships, 106.
Remind me what that was last month? 106 last month. But we were up to about 114, but we had some people that did not renew. I thought that, for some reason, that cost and the dues, if you're a link member, doesn't make a difference.
So they're going down in membership?
Yeah, people aren't renewing. That's the problem.
Yeah, I got the email from National that they were talking about having.
And they will do that. If you don't pay your dues by January 31st, then you might have to reapply, Pastor Sandy.
If you're a lifetime member of this post, is there still a fee?
No. Once you're life member, that's why go life, go national and go your local. You're better off. And now I'm a joint member, Jersey Shore and here, and life. But I did Jersey Shore. I did not go life down here. Just not very well. My ears are. Am I going to spend that money, or it's going to be? So so I pay it every 3 years.
The guy, Olsen, I don't know,
Steve Bollinger?
he went talking to first I was here, signing up.
Yes.
Thank you. Scholarship. I'll bring some meetings, but I've been filling in. If anybody wants to, wants hats or sweatshirts, send me an email and I'll order them.
Sweatshirts, nice. And then
that one, but it's fully operational.
Big Ed.
And I'd like to wrap it up with.
To the base.
Yeah, most of the functions are polo. So what's nice about these is you set those up. So it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's well worth it.
It's good.
And then warm.
They wash up nicely. Mine's in the car, I didn't know, but the weather was 100 degrees now, this morning was 67.
A scholarship, you want to do the report? A scholarship?
Like Ashley got the scholarship.
Yeah, well, last meeting, we voted to give Ashley a scholarship.
Right.
And since then, Chris has notified Ashley by email and her sponsor, which is her grandfather, Isaac Cohen, who's a member of the base. And Chris will be, Guy Doherty hasn't been attending because of his other
He's the
responsibility.
grand poobah of the Hamilton House.
So Chris will sign the letter that will be sent to Ashley. But I'll read the letter if you guys don't mind. Ms. Ashley Bannon, congratulations, you have been awarded a $1,000 New Jersey South Base Scholarship Award for the academic year 2025-26. This is a one-time scholarship in recognition of their outstanding efforts, hard work, and success towards furthering your education. The award is in memory of Mr. Edward J. Carlson Sr., a World War II Navy veteran of that. The award check will be sent to the University of South Carolina for deposit into the student account number U464-71822. It will be mailed on August 1st. Should you wish to verify its credit to the student account. The Base Scholarship Committee encourages you to pursue your academic goals and is proud that been of assistance in meeting your educational achievements. Wishing you the best. Signed, Christopher Wilson. Great work.
South Florida. South Carolina. So is she a bull or a gamecock? Which is it?
Close.
South Florida?
Maybe you start talking.
Okay, that's the next question. When do you want me to send?
August 1st. Yeah, it's basically we're following the same schedule that we did last year. Once the committee reviews the scholarship and makes the recommendation to the board, and the board approves it, and we present it to the membership. Once that happens, then we notify the recipient. We have to do it either by phone or by email because we need the student ID. Once we have the student ID, the letter will get sent out by the committee to the recipient. A copy will go to the base treasurer, and on August 1st, the check will be mailed to the university. We have yet to one thing we do on scholarship is we encourage everyone to not only apply for the base, but for national. And Ashley did that, and the winners haven't been announced, but based on the resume that we reviewed, I think she's got a good shot at it. That's pretty good because the last 2 years, last year both of my grandsons got it. The year before, national got national, and the year before that, my oldest grandson got national. So, and this year they raised the national to $2,200. So if Ashley gets the national, that's going to be $3,200, and that will help. That will help. I think that's our scholarship is a one-year scholarship. The national, it's a recurring, and we can know that. So if you send your transcripts and you keep your average up, and you reapply, your chance to get it again. So it's a good program.
That's the only question. In that letter, you said New Jersey base? How come they don't put in the New Jersey submarine south base, so they know it's coming from the submarine? At least, well, in case you want to read it or something. You know, if they say the base, south base, what base is that, baseball base or what? Just the name, I put it in there just to say.
You got it.
Not to get, they know it's coming from submarines. Yeah.
Not just something regular.
Because, you know, some people say, what fish you get this? I play third fish, so.
And I notified her and her grandfather today, Isaac, and they got a very nice thank you to the base from both of them.
I need to point out, if people put that in their will, I got a bunch of friends last week, I'm the executor on my older son, didn't get COVID, and there's a scholarship at DCNJ in his name, and the first kid that got it chose not to go to college at all. And the question is, what do you do with the money you pay? And so that's well worded, whoever put it together, my compliments. So,
It's a process.
yeah, we went to it, you know.
It was a work, a combined effort.
Well done, thank you. You did better than the college of New Jersey did, they also.
We had it with the fire company, but if you went, you put everything in, you showed your grades and everything else, you were paid. If you didn't, the money came back.
Yeah, but that also mentions, so you were really, the scholarship.
Try and cover all bases.
It's not taking it on the line, of course.
No, that's true.
We basically, when we put the program together, we basically followed national. That's what national does, and well, it's, everything, if national changes their submission deadline,
Anyway,
we'll change ours to the break. This way, there's no confusion, and it's so much easier for these young kids. You only have to write one essay. Write the essay for national and apply it to the base. So, but Ashley went one step further. She wrote a separate one for the base. So, give her kudos to Ashley. Thank you. License plates. Not sold any new plates yet. I think we still have 5 in inventory. I'm waiting for a couple plates to come back to me. But
Nobody else do that?
Do you think you transferred?
everybody, especially it's the boomer sailors mostly, they want the whole number. Everybody wants the whole number, and he can't get. But I finally found the boomer sailor that's going to get his whole number. He was on the Alabama, and even though we're not paid up to his number, we're too shy. We're going to be able, we're going to try to get that number issued using the funds that we've already put down. They got new people at the motor vehicle, and the fellow that's handling the taxes, everything we need. But for some reason, we have a number that it's Larry's wrong.
Oh, Joe Lurio.
Joe Larry.
Cat Joe Lurio. He was with the commissioning committee.
So every,
You bet, Joe. He was at the thing for Calhoun. Joe Lurio.
Okay, yeah, Captain Joe.
He belongs here, but.
well, I didn't realize that, I didn't even know that number was paid for and not used until I reconciled with the new people at the motor vehicle. So I sent Joe an email asking if he would be interested in that plate, or if anybody knows that lives in New Jersey and served on that boat, so maybe,
What was that
so
number?
maybe you are,
What was that number, Ed? Just curious.
1732, I think. 1732.
Calucci got me 1911, which is a 611 upside down.
Yeah, I know what fellas said, only one of was a combination, didn't have the exact number, as long as it had the same three numbers.
Ed, do we have any insight into plates that were issued previously and then returned?
You know,
They don't return them. People don't return them.
My walleye reads them anyways.
They don't return.
No, you can transfer. I discovered that my Nissan is worth.
Yeah, you put it out in another car, sure.
So I can move my things.
I moved mine around. I got truck cars.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They don't let them tell you, they can't.
Yeah, you can do that, of course you can.
Motor vehicles are strange.
No, you can do it.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, the coolest one is if you have two cars, one for you and one for your wife, and you get the numbers in the second trip. That's cool.
Somebody who's not here tonight, that when I came 2 months ago, I had a red Nissan 93 300C with some replace that I keep parked outside my driveway. I lived there right near Hot Points in Goodrich. And he says, yeah, there's some guy with a red car we haven't seen for years.
What street you live on? I know
We're
you're at, yeah. Yeah, I cut through. I didn't go coursing.
one of them.
I'm one of those.
So is Bob.
I'm right at the stop sign next to my house.
Yes, I know you live.
Well, that's what we put in the place. Old business. Under old business is basically the same as not, as you all know. Well, I've got the fundraising program, and we're no longer selling coupons for the holdings. And that was a good program for us.
That was $300 each time. That was easy money.
The company had done that,
We made $900, yes.
But unfortunately, you still have the coupons. They're good until the end of the year.
Until the 31st of December, yes.
USS BI Charitable Foundation, they're offering wills, and what they're basically doing is they're using that as a way of encouraging you to actually donate to the scholarship fund, which is something like
No, it's but when the pressure went down, a lot of the guys did not have wills, they did not have powers of attorney, and their wives were screwed for a long while. So as soon as that happened, I went in just after, and we all had to get wills. Yeah, we all had to get wills. And they were basic, but they covered, at least it covered the wife for power of attorney, and it was tough for some of the people, some of the families.
We especially told, before we told, everybody had to update that on the beneficiary of their group life insurance. Because sometimes they got married, but still was made after their parents.
Oh, yeah.
They forgot to change it. I wonder what that's worth. How much is a soldier worth today?
I don't know what that is. It used to be 10,000.
Yes, we have our-
Yeah.
Yeah.
$2 a month.
Under new business, we're going to change the order.
On the new business, Bob Gross, please stand.
Presentation presenting.
Okay, on behalf of everyone here today and all the other members you were so dedicated to, this plaque is going to be presented to you. And it says United States Submarine Veterans, New Jersey South Base, presented to Robert C. Gross. This is in appreciation for all your outstanding service as our base commander from 2016 to 2025. These awards stand as a tribute for your honorable service to our base membership. We also want to recognize your lovely wife, Deborah, who assisted you during your time of service. June 27th, today, presented to you in 2025. I would like to say you're a good friend and you're also a patriot.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. If it wasn't for my wife, a lot of that stuff wouldn't happen.
I was gonna say, thank Debbie first, you know.
But thank you very much, I appreciate this. It's not that I didn't want to continue on with you, commanders, it was just,
Debbie needed to be relieved.
Debbie needed to be relieved. And like I said, I appreciate all the help I've had. And I keep on saying that, I'd like to get more people out. I always say, the younger people. Not to say there's anything wrong with us, but to get some more young people in here. And if you know of anybody, if you get them in, it can help our base. It's started going back up instead of going down. Our numbers are going down because we lost a lot of WW2 people. So, thank you, gentlemen, I appreciate it.
Job well done.
Tickets, we sold tickets.
Yeah.
We sold tickets, look at that. You talked about it last meeting,
Yeah.
and Bill and Wayne and Glenn went down and they said, what'd you say, Bill? I'll sell to the drunks down there.
Frankly, I actually waited until Jim showed up with the tickets, but Wayne and Glenn went ahead and they decided I gave the tickets, so it worked out well. Put up at $100 and whatever dollars, right? $100 a year covers the scholarship.
Yeah.
But you know, we have a lot of cash. So
See that?
we just don't have the members coming out. But the members that do come out, you know, we want to do something for ourselves. And we talked about having kids up.
Having pizza up here, like after a meeting.
After the meeting.
It was nice when we had Richie. We had a little meal afterwards and everything else.
Well, Beth used to do that all the time too, right?
Beth and Dave did that, yes, for years. And, but like I say, you might be able to get some people out to have a bite, you know, they'll say, all right, I don't have to eat, I go get a couple of slices of pizza or whatever. And there's pizza places all over here. And,
We'll try it for the next meeting.
like I said, we can do, because we can just call. We get here, we find out how many people want to eat. Well, because, I mean,
Tell them to deliver 8:30.
exactly.
I think the ratings are really covered, because I mean, it's funny, because one of the reasons I like having the plates on my navigator, when I worked for Kodak, I traveled to Rochester at least twice a month, and I get people flagging down to the turnpike. And, I mean, literally, it stopped the truck, and I mean, 600 people, they went to stories, what going on, they my name, and in rural New York, they don't have access to anything. So when we go, is there a base in Philadelphia?
We have Philadelphia base, yes.
So our draw area is down for.
We have Egg Harbor, Philadelphia, Egg Harbor, Jersey Shore, Jersey South, Jersey North.
And where's the line between north?
And it, like Chuck lives in Normal County, right? Middlesex County, and he comes here. And Alan Brown usually comes in, and,
Howard Gant used to come over.
Howard Gant used to come up from,
Last term?
down by Seoul, almost down by Seoul.
Al Brown.
Al Brown. Al Brown, but like I say, it's, we welcome anyone, because there's a couple people down the shore base that live closer here, but, you know, let people go where they want to go.
You know what's sold me on this page? Friday night.
Yes.
And we tried daytime, we tried a Saturday, we tried a Sunday. And I've got no more people. And so you can understand the people from down the shore that were coming up. And as you get toward winter, it gets darker. And as we're getting older, eyesight's not as good, the deer are running. And, you know, so we lost about 2 or 3 guys that game.
The car I got right now, all the reasons is I've been in the ass half a dozen times by people trying to read it. So now my new car has, I bought, I had a plate that says, "Daily suffering," in big letters. So at least people can see it. So we started that conversation without having to have an accident.
I was at Chick-fil-A. There's a submarine vet there, he had us out on. I felt so bad because he wouldn't stop talking to me. His son was trying to leave that register. He was out the door, he's pacing back and forth, because once the guy at the submariner starts talking,
I think that's the way we get add to it, is wherever you're at, put it on all the cars. I was at U of M having my legs checked, and I run into this guy wearing a submarine. And we start talking, and I turned out he was my captain's roommate at Annapolis. And Captain didn't look at him, we called him Crazy Bob, but he told me stories about our captain. He still on it, blew him up, but he was Crazy Bob when he was at the academy too. So I mean, it's amazing. Somehow you gotta get, you know, wear a hat all the time, figure out a way to put it on the car.
Down at Trenton Thunder, about a week and a half ago, I had myself that hat on. How many people
come up to me and said, thank you for your service. It was amazing. And so, the people were seeing it. And then, of course, then they come to the Jumbotron and said, all right, you can't hurt it. It's advertising.
Yeah, I always wear my so that hat. But when I go to the big hat, I wear my special hat. The best marine is the submarine.
Yeah, because when you can fish off 20 people around you, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I just love tweaking them. But, we'll talk about the logistics. If you want to go here downstairs.
I would do it up here because there's too much noise, and I mean, if you can get a beer or soda or whatever, bring it
I mean,
up.
you got a table down there.
Because for a while, I used to bring, I had napkins, plates and everything, and knife, fork, in case we got pizzas. And I would bring it in, bring it
I
out.
was curious, we talk about membership, if we're dealing with smaller pool of people. When I got out of the Navy, there were 105 boats, 500 diesels, and we had 41 of them had 2 crews, in the Pennsylvania Navy. Today, it's 63. Smaller.
But we do what we can with what we got.
I mean, what bugs me is, as old as I am, I was born the year some of you guys qualified and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, when I
as
first
old as I,
when I came here 10 years ago, I was one of 3 boomer singers. Everybody else was people.
And then we had Bill Fast Tech.
I think I'm only a fast boat sailor here.
Chris!
He's been boomer, fast
He's
boat,
been the phone.
smoke boat, he's had them all. Deep boats.
Right.
Yeah, he's got it all.
Carrier.
You know,
But he qualified first in the diesel boat.
Yes.
he did, yeah.
Did anybody ever get the names of the 2 subs that were involved with the attack on Iran?
Yeah, one was in Alabama, I believe.
Marjorie.
It wasn't in Florida? Alabama? Was it Alabama?
Oh, it was SSGN, right?
Yeah. No, it was like a strap boomers.
Ohio.
It's the Alabama.
previous movers, they were converted.
This was all, I think the Alabama has always been an Ohio class boomer. And like the Alabamas were involved.
Yeah, 2 boats and 45.
Yeah, they tossed tomahawks, tossed a bunch of tomahawks.
Yeah, and the thing is though, they showed the pictures of the Tomahawks going down. Their superstructure, it was not a submarine. Yeah, yeah.
But now they launch.
On the news.
They launch these tomahawks. You gotta find out those. Mostly fast boat, we carry tomahawks.
The new boats won't be able to carry that big launch.
And now they're VLS launch, right? So now they're vertical launch.
Yes.
But we would launch.
But you're
same way.
submerged, so 50 feet, 100 feet.
Yeah, they float and they ignite.
You do like a sub rocket.
Okay, so all-
They were also, for me, they were also 2 launch.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Tomahawk,
Yes.
tomahawk,
Yes.
Horizontal.
But now they're going for the
28s,
You know what people
35s.
They never should
Yeah,
go
right.
around the sun.
No, I don't.
Where do we get pizza?
Carol,
It's good.
This kid's still will sample.
It's got a regular on it?
You can get whatever you want.
No, it's right. Jersey pizza tends not to have a regular. Especially not pizza.
I don't really feel it right now. All my friends.
We only have this big, we need 2 large pies, that's all, because
Maybe next meeting, we'll have pizza.
they may.
I'll get the number. What we know how many people.
I got the number.
Every time we show up, it'll come 8:30. 8:30.
I know they use, well, this was the one cash.
I don't know, I wanted you to be there.
Deliver that 8.
Oh, I'll just write a check to her.
I was questioned about changing my responsibilities.
Yeah,
Or,
Just get a receipt from Jen.
I still need to.
It'll work.
Yeah, so now we can talk sea stories.
Now that I, my friends all belong to Southern America, and they always ask me questions, and they were asking me questions the other night about the 30 missiles that were shot.
Yeah.
So, do they have to come back and reload it? And I'm going, no, they have 124 left. There's 154 on SSGN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Great question. I have a stack, there's a book called Blind Man's Bluff.
Yes.
I'm very funny about security. this before I got out and went to grad school, 10 years. And I'm very cautious about questions we ask. They'll say, how do you become? Well, we also had an issue that well from the 688s were falsified, so they restricted to half of that step. John Marshall had that excursion. And this month, if any of you are subscribers to 41 for Freedom, it's a website. And one of my storekeepers and our IC-man wrote a 20-page little dissertation, which was classified until the 50th anniversary. It was called A Bad Christmas Eve on the John Marshall. And yours truly was diagnosed. And it's a 10-page dissertation that probably should have been classified because it's got the depth that we went through. And I can't, and the only way I do with my neighbors is I give them a copy of mine next month. I don't answer the question. So read it, it's all in here. It's a great book.
So you confirm or deny.
That's right. I can't do it, but if you read the book, there you go. And I've learned that from my sister-in-law, she's a graphic NSA. That's how they can go. And if Tom Clancy had spent one day in uniform, he would have gone to jail. It's just a lot of stuff. But this 10-page dissertation talks about a death excursion that John Marshall made after he tried to diesel, and we had a drop rock, had a reactor scram, way beyond the MPS and the manual. We had 3 pages of brown paper down here someplace, and we couldn't start it. Our XO made a bad call, was overridden by our chief of the boat, who was a World War II type, and we did not storm it yet because we had the whole upper building was full of water, pumped out almost 100,000 gallons of water, and when our chief of the boat looked at the depth gauge, it read a number like 1594. Wow. And his comment was, we're one of 3 submarines made to that depth. And because we were at about 33 angle, that means the stern was probably 2,000 feet. But that, you can now read about that on the internet at 41 for Freedom. I won't answer any other questions. The Marshall was restricted to 50% of that depth. The rest of them.
We had a scram during a drill that went wrong, and they couldn't start it again. I guess when you lose heat, you got to reduce electrical. And finally, they had to stop the prop. We came on the surface, with just the emergency lights on. They said if that thing had went cold, we would have been towed in, and there was no way to restart.
We did that with fire and we were on the move for 3 days. We said some of this is right. That's one. And we were the surface went into London. We were like, oh, you're okay. They thought it was working. Yeah, it's working. So it's
We came, I remember we came, and it was rough seas. It's the worst thing to be on the submarine. It's cold and rocket and everything. And it was the same time and hour of the day you have to take the advancement exams. You can't change it by Navy regulations. All those guys on the mess decks were taking that test, and they couldn't stop the test. They had to take it.
That's the answer. 1 minute 12 seconds. No. So 1,600 feet, which is where they just announced this week that that's the level when they triangulated with the Scorpion had an anniversary too. And they finally said that the place the Scorpion went flat was 1,600 feet. So we were both it was built in Norfolk, so it was up close. We get into that numbers. But story over Freedom has lots of stuff, some of which should be classified.
Never shortage of sea story. Don't look what it says.
I had a quick sea story. It's not really a sea story, but I'm going to say this anyway, and a lot of you guys have heard this from me before. So this weekend, unfortunately, I had to cancel, but as you know, I do a reunion with my Spacefish shipmates, right? Every year. We've been doing it now for 17 years. We had to cancel this year. We get a pretty good turnout, right, of 15, 20 guys and their wives to come every year to Virgin, New Jersey, including guys from Alaska, the West Coast, all over the list. And I'm just bringing it up again to encourage you guys, if you don't already, you should reach out to these guys, right? If you haven't had contact, I know a couple of you guys qualified on the same boat at the same time, but which is a rarity, but you know, it's really a good time, and you know, those relationships. There were a couple guys in the last few years that I've seen that we haven't seen in 30 plus years. And you know, that old cliche about it seems like no time has passed is really true with this brotherhood, right? So, you know, again, I'm just throwing it out there to encourage the fact that people should you have the opportunity, you should reach out to these guys.
I went to a church reunion at the King's Back, and it was almost the last ever reunion. And it was fantastic because it was dedicated by a lot of retired shipmates that had fallen. So we came from New York, we came from the south, and we must have about 60 Angus sailors there. But it was nice. It was the calling of the roll of the deceased Angus sailors. We must have had 12 chiefs or first class, and each of them took a bunch of names and they told the names of each of those deceased sailors. It was a moving experience.
Yeah, and the thing I do is with the guys that I served with, so there's like a period of time, 78 to 83 kind of thing. The ship obviously has its reunions, and you get people, you know, we'll get 60 or 70 from all years. But of my shipmates that I'm aware of and served with, you know, we get 15 or 20 of them every year come to my house from all over. So, you know, the guys you know, if you haven't reached out to them, I would suggest you do it.
Take the opportunity. That's right.
I just need to put that reunion in September in Little Rock. Razorback in Little Rock. Groups just like this, very little money, they have a fantastic place. We've had a number of reunions, spent too much money, whole halls, banquets. These people for $50, they have a refrigerator full of beer, a big stuff, the deck, and they built the barge next to it. They have the last ship for a harbor, it's a ton there, and they spend no money, yet they open everything, and all we want to do is drink beer and tell stories. So we spend no money, we got 100 people out of the hospital, 130, and all of us are in their 70s. Every other group I'm in, high school class, college class, grad school, every one of those had 30% that's we've lost. Something about being poor and working hard.
That was Cal Moon's book.
And our captain ahead of me on the old crew, who retired as a skipper of the tender, is 93, and he's swearing he's 60. Driving to the last place, amazing.
At our Georgia reunion, there were 5 of us that won the decommissioning for, you weren't there for that. But there's only 6 of us left from the decommissioning crew. But we also had a World War II vet. He was on the first war patrol of the Yankton. So it was real cool because we had the beginning, we had pictures. This was the start of the narrative, and here was the close of the narrative. And it was really something. He passed the following year, but we donated our battle flag to the USA Mary's Museum. And last year was formally our last reunion, but they're resurrecting it because there's a World War II reunion down in I think in November down in Georgia. So we're going to try to get the annual reunion, what's left of us, to join as part of that reunion. What the hell with these boats?
Yeah. Wow.
Any other sea stories?
I got one. We were out at sea and we were doing our thing. We're just dragging along about 4 knots. And I always had the mid-watch because there was only 3 of us. So we did 8 hours on and 16 off. It was easy. It was easier to do that than throw in all this crazy stuff. Well, one night, one of the underling officers was on the comm, and he says, "We're going to go up to periscope depth here soon, and ready for dark and all that stuff." And I said, "Okay," and I did, because I'm a forward IC at the time. And he clears the baffles like half-ass. I mean, really half-ass. He didn't even turn 90 degrees. He maybe went 45. And I told him, I said, "Sir, you didn't really clear the baffles good enough. There could be somebody behind us." And he goes, "You're such a smart-ass cock. You get on scope." I said, "Okay." So we go up to periscope depth, 60 feet, I turn around and there's two, red and green light there, and I go, emergency beep. And everybody's doing their thing. And he's sitting there going, no, don't do that, don't do that. The old man comes up in his underwear, because he's at the bottom of the scope well, and he says, what's going on? I said, sir, there is a ship, and it's very close. And the next thing you know, you hear,
You can hear the problem, yeah.
you hear the props go right over, cut off 450 feet at a 500 cable.
Trailing wire, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of trailing wire.
And it was our second last one. Ethan Allen. But,
You know, our day was night, the night was day. I remember that, like, not that it mattered, but, I mean,
no, at night, we were be rigged for red. But if we went up the scope deck, we
You're
were about a half an
Rigged
hour
for black.
before rigged for black.
if it, like, we're on patrol and we're eating breakfast, but the actual time in the real world out, I mean, where we were at was night. We were on our own time, Zoom
That
time.
was
Right.
where we were.
So all revolutions always happened at night.
Mhm.
So when we, the broadcast, whatever, was always in darkness, even though we just ate lunch. Is that what I'm saying?
The rule was back in the seventies, that if you would rig for red, day and night, the Greenwich Mean Time. But if you got halfway up through the med, where a lot of the players patrols were, you were 6 hours off on the time. And the same thing, when we went to 1,600 feet, we were off of, we were in the White Sea, we were about, one of the reasons we couldn't surface snorkels, we were inside of Russia. So we really didn't want to make a lot of noise. But we had one of those patrols with 800 contacts. We did the med patrol with 16,000 contacts, you know, so we would have 50 contacts at once.
Well, on that note, if we don't hear any propellers about, I'm gonna ask Wayne.
The surface, yeah.
They send me a piece of it every Christmas.
I'm gonna do the closing prayer. Yeah. Closing prayer. Grant us, O Lord, as America is suffering veterans, we may continue to help our fellow veterans and those in need. We thank you for the people assembled here and pray you will bless their many works. Be with us, we pray. Amen. Okay. Okay.